Her Excellency Ibu Bintang Puspayoga, Minister of Women's Empowerment and Child Protection of Indonesia, our gracious host, the Honorable Bapak Oli Dondokambe, Governor of North Sulawesi, Honorable Chair and Co-Chair of the W20, Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Selamat pagi and a very good morning. I am honored to be given the opportunity to deliver opening remarks at this very important forum. Allow me to convey my deepest regret for not being able to attend in person owing to a prior commitment. My deputy, Ms. Dwi Faiz, however, is there right now in wonderful Likupang and will be actively participating over the next couple of days. On behalf of UN Women's Executive Director, I commend the government of Indonesia for their high-level commitment and leadership of the G20 presidency, and I extend our congratulations to the chair and co-chair of the W20, the Sherpa, and the entire committee responsible for the successful series of events and activities since the kickoff on Hari Ibu, or Indonesian Women's Day, on 22nd December last year. The W20 theme, Recover Together, equally, is well aligned to the overall G20 theme of Recover Together, Recover Stronger. No economic recovery will be complete or sustainable if women and girls are left behind or given lesser priority, especially by the 20 largest economies in the world, accounting for 80% of global GDP. Despite considerable progress on gender equality over the past decades, these gains have been uneven, tenuous, and have also been subject to many setbacks, particularly in light of the prolonged pandemic we continue to endure. The World Economic Forum estimates that at the current pace, we will still need a staggering 267 years to achieve gender equality on economic participation and opportunity alone. Here are some more sobering statistics about the persistent gender equality gaps that we must confront. Globally, women's employment declined by 4.2% because of the pandemic, representing a drop of 54 million jobs, with more women than men working in vulnerable jobs that have been hardest hit by COVID-19. This is exacerbated by the shadow pandemic of gender-based violence, which often means that women are confined at home with their aggressor, not only impacting public health, but further hindering economic participation. Technology is evolving, but in low and middle income countries, 433 million women are unconnected, and 165 million fewer women own a mobile phone compared with men. Digitalization brings immense potential to accelerate women's empowerment. Yet 1.7 billion people, more than half of whom are women, continue to be financially excluded from the digital economy. In addition to marginalization in economic terms, we continue to see women being underrepresented in public decision-making, including in politics and in public discourse. Only 12% of global leaders as either heads of state or heads of government are women. Women also tend to be excluded from some of the high-level discussion panels, and I sincerely hope we can put an end to the phenomenon of the manel, or all-male speaking events during this and future G20 presidencies. It is a small but very significant step to signal the importance of including gender-diverse perspectives which lead to better informed policy outcomes. Having discussions and conferences like this one are important, but as the saying goes, we also need to walk the talk. And that means putting firm commitments on the table backed by financial investments. Last year's Generation Equality Forum, a landmark event for gender equality organized by UN Women and jointly hosted by the governments of France and Mexico, concluded with the announcement of bold gender equality commitments totaling an impressive $40 billion of confirmed investments and policy and program commitments from governments and the private sector. These investments represent a major step change in resourcing for women and girls' rights. It would be important to first take stock of how our past and present commitments have been implemented and to follow up in addition to making new pledges and taking further concrete measures. To its credit, the W20 initiated in 2015 has had a very strategic role in changing the mindsets of the G20 leadership in the world to start paying closer attention to women's empowerment and gender equality. One of the most concrete actions has been the commitment to reducing the gender gap for labor force participation between men and women in G20 countries by 25% by 2025 as part of the Brisbane Plan of Action, which we should not lose sight of. The important recommendations stemming from successive W20 deliberations should make its way into the G20 Summit Declaration, and we should make all efforts to ensure gender equality and women's empowerment become a standing item on the core G20 agenda every year. Otherwise, we may continue preaching to the converted. Women's economic empowerment and financial inclusion have been recognized as a key to achieving the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. And in this increasingly digital world, technology is a great enabler, providing ever-growing opportunities for women to be economically active. The G20 is an excellent opportunity to strengthen the collaboration not just between the public and private sector, but with many other key stakeholders, including civil society, youth, parliamentarians, academia, and the media, among others. Societies benefit when we are able to harness the best talent and abilities without putting hurdles in the way for women and girls. The G20 has a powerful role to play in exhibiting leadership to drive the inclusion of women in the formulation and implementation of policies that impact and benefit women's economic empowerment. The W20 has the responsibility and the opportunity to hold the G20 accountable for its commitments to gender equality. Finally, I wish you all the very best in your deliberations during the many W20 sessions. Let this be a defining moment when we can witness the accelerated implementation of bold and robust commitments that will drive us closer to achieving gender equality and the empowerment of women. More than ever before, this is what we need if we are to succeed in recovering together, recovering stronger, and recovering equally. Thank you very much. Terima kasih banyak.